Okay, what's up, y'all? Today we are kind of doing a podcast style where I will be having my mom and Barry on talking off camera about the topics that we feel like should be discussed today. And the first one is that of the border, or should I say the lack thereof. Presently, the federal government and our state is having a bit of a standoff with each other when it comes to border security or if they should even have it at all. Joe Biden and his administration is kind of like, hey, back off or else. And gosh, finally, our governor, Greg Abbott, is like, well, or what? What are you going to do? And that's about where we are right now.
So, did you hear what's going on at Eagle Pass?
Well, for the sake of video, please tell us what's going on at Eagle Pass.
Well, obviously, Eagle Pass is about the National Guard, the Texas National Guard. They have basically seized the territory. I think it's what Shelby Park. I think is what it's called. And basically, they're not allowing any migrants to cross the border. They're arresting anybody that does because again, they're breaking the law. But like, the Fed gave them an ultimatum. I think last week. I don't remember what day it was.
I think it was the 16th.
Yeah, I don't remember the date. It doesn't matter really. They gave him an ultimatum and said you need to like let us in, as in like the Fed, the border patrol agents, and they all basically the day came and went and nothing really happened. I don't really know what's going to go on from there, but
empty threats from a government.
Oh my goodness, this just makes me furious. I mean, some people might say better late than never, but Governor Abbott, what in the heck have you been doing the past couple of years? I mean, why has it taken you so long to get a backbone to say, you know what, I'm going to actually defend our borders? I mean, why do we even call it a border if we're just letting people walk across it? If I tried to go into any other country, I would not be allowed to go across the border. I would not be given a cell phone. I would not be given a stack of cash. I would not be given an airplane ticket to go in whatever part of the country I wanted to go to. But no, we have hundreds of thousands, of millions of people that are.
It's millions. It's not.
Yeah. Well, okay. So,
it's
well, I think
coming across our border, and we are saying, "Welcome to our country. Here, let me help you come across." And I mean, I am so angry.
Well, all the research that I've seen, that I've read, is my understanding it's millions that they have apprehended.
Oh,
so who knows how many?
As in, I think 2023 broke the record for the most ever, which broke the record from the year before in 2022. But they broke the record for, I think it's like 3 million illegal aliens
or something.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's 100% that they apprehended or that's an estimate. I think it's way more than that. I think it's in the close to 10 million illegal people coming in. Like,
probably. I mean, I think that would be a very safe guess. What I think is kind of funny, and this is a horrible thing, but looking at this picture on the Texas Tribune of all these illegals crossing through on the river, and this guy is just playing golf. Just like it's a normal Tuesday. Like it's nothing new. People are coming in, and it's
I
not
didn't see
even
that.
yeah, look at that. It's a little bit ironic, but I don't even like. Okay, fine. People are running across and they're swimming across. Old news, basically. But what I think is interesting these days is that now they're getting passports with plane tickets that say John Doe, Jane Doe, and they're getting shipped in, and entire sections of the airport are now being closed off to make temporary housing for these people. And anybody who's actually there at the airport for a flight who's like, bro, what's going on? Like, what is this? They're getting questioned, they're getting arrested, they're getting sent away. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Isn't
like,
that?
Are we in the Matrix?
Isn't that? Who was that? Was
O'Hare?
Ashley St. Clair?
I don't know.
I think she was the one that did
O'Hare Airport.
Well, I think no, I think they were leaving like the TPUSA event, something like that. I'm gonna pull it up here. I think it's. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But I remember seeing that like the who are these people that are going on the flights? All you have to basically say is what? I'm an immigrant. Give me a ride to Connecticut because why? Or whatever. I don't know. Or wherever. I mean, they're not going to Connecticut, but you know what I mean. Like,
could they go to Connecticut? It would be better than them coming here. Like, go give them to a liberal governor instead of us.
I can't remember who that one guy was, but he tweeted a snapshot. He took a picture of the sign in the airport, and the sign basically said, go through security. You basically don't have to tell them your name. You don't have to take a picture.
Remember that.
And if you do choose to take a picture, it's immediately deleted. You know what I mean? Like all of this stuff. I mean, are you kidding? We have to have an ID that is a legitimate ID that matches perfectly to the name on the ticket that we bought. I mean, the double standard that is going on right now in our country is so stinking.
It's called irony.
It makes me so angry. They can come across, be given anything, given everything that they want. Meanwhile, there's those of us who have a job, we pay our bills, and what? Oh, wait, did you just hear? I just saw it reported that Maine is building
temporary housing.
No, it's not temporary. It's actually apartments.
Well, until they could give them our houses.
And guess what? They're giving them the apartments for free.
Who's paying for that?
I was just say, who's paying?
Yeah.
We, the taxpayers.
Well, you're not. Maine taxpayers are paying for it, but still. I'm sure they're doing it here in Texas, right? Or maybe they aren't. I don't know if Grady's doing it.
Better not be. Absolutely not. Go send
it could
to
be
a
though. I mean,
shoo, go away.
Well, like all those people. What is it? Because of that storm happened last weekend, in New York, where they closed down the school for like the 2 days, and basically said you work from home. Basically, they gave the kids 2 days off. And then basically house them inside the hallways and the gymnasium.
At what point do we like run out of schools and apartment buildings to put
the only reason why they did it is because it was a huge storm coming, and it was going to be like a huge freezing blizzard. I understand that.
I'm sorry. Go back.
It was only temporary. Last I heard, they were only there for like 2 days and then they left. But my point on this, they shouldn't be there in the first place.
Left to go back to their luxury hotels.
Well, did you hear about? There's a couple of videos I've seen. I might pull it up here of a video of some migrants screaming, saying that I'm not leaving my luxury apartment in New York or whatever. Like, they were just really mad because they're like, oh, we're not gonna leave this place, and I don't understand what the whole point of this is.
Don't.
Like, it makes no sense to me that I don't understand how these sanctuary cities and these governors and stuff like that are now all coming out against it because what? Because Abbott, like you said, started growing a backbone and started pushing them.
You poor
baby. I still, as angry as I am at our so-called President Biden, I am furious at Abbott because what took him so long?
Well, is it not better late than never?
Okay,
4 years too late after the damage is already
it's more like 8 years. I mean,
how long? Remember way back when Trump wanted to build a wall and it was going to cost, I don't even remember.
It was like $5 billion, I think.
No. Even if not, it was only like 10 billions or tens of billions.
A small amount compared to, let's see, the massive amount we've sent Ukraine. But whatever, we're okay with defending their border, but we can't even defend our own border. I mean, do our liberal leftists in our country
$18 billion for
not
our border wall?
Understand the hypocrisy of it? I mean, we are sending so much freaking money over to the Ukraine.
Well, that's the only standard Democrats have, though.
Yeah,
it's hypocrisy, double standard.
I mean,
exactly.
That's it. So let's go defend their border, but our border, bring them all across. And meanwhile, all the liberals in D.C., I'm pretty sure all of the leftists, I'm sure they live in little gated homes with walls going around them, but yet they're all coming across to Texas, and we can't even have a wall around our own state. I mean, why have we not built the wall going all the way across our southern
Because
border?
It's racist.
No, it's not helpful to them because what was
exactly
that one, I can't remember which Democratic congresswoman said this, but she was like, I need the illegals to come here because I want to redistrict.
Well,
Who
that's
said that?
I don't remember if somebody actually said that, but that's what happens.
That. She said that. I saw the video.
Maybe I'll try and look it up and see if I can find it.
She was a black or brown congresswoman.
Sure.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. We have a diaspora that can absorb a significant number of these migrants. And when I hear colleagues talk about, the doors of the inn being closed, no room in the inn, I'm saying, I need more people in my district, but just for redistricting purposes. And those members could clearly fit here.
And I remember
seeing
that's
what happens.
She said it like on CNN or was in MSNBC or something.
They changed the voter registration. They changed the electoral college. That's why California accepts them, because they're counted in the census that we take every 4 to 5 years. I don't remember how. Maybe it's 8 years that we take the census. I don't remember. Is it 10 years?
Yeah,
I think we're due for another one.
No, we just
had
in
a couple of years.
It's on the even year. So it's on.
So is it 24?
No, we just had one.
Even like 20, 30.
We just had.
Oh, okay. So we just. But that census, those people are counted as part of citizens of the state. when they're not citizens of the state because they're just residents that are living there.
I don't even like the word residents. You don't belong
No,
here.
that's what I mean. It's like it changes the
country.
electoral college, is what I'm saying. It gives them more votes. It just and so I don't know. I think.
Well, I would just like to throw out this number though, since I just found it. We've sent almost 115 billion to Ukraine, but the border wall would almost just cost 18.
Well, they wanted to send a lot more.
Oh, how nice!
But
They sent less than what they
down.
wanted.
I think they just sent out
It's
another
only
60.
over 100 billion.
No, I'm pretty sure they just
B.
approved another 60 too, which is stupid because their Congress is garbage. Even with this new guy.
What if we
so
just if they're gonna send the money, it has to come out of politicians' paychecks. Like whatever
that's
you
not
send.
feasible.
Oh, it's not feasible. Oh, too bad.
With that being said, I'm agreeing with that, but. Okay, but so about this border,
let's talk about who's coming across the border. The leftists would like us to think it's all these women and children. Okay, so there are a handful, but I would say when we look at all the videos of everybody jumping on the trains heading north through Mexico, coming to our border, it's all military age men. It is all 18 to 40-ish years old. That's a total generalization there, but all
honestly,
men.
I would say it's less. They all look like they're in their 20s, 30s.
Okay, fine. So
in shape, they don't look like they just come from poverty.
Oh, a better life, really.
For their family. They're going to send money across, which they do. But at the same time,
10 years ago, I'm sure they did. Not anymore.
Again, coming from California, working with a lot of not illegal. They might have been illegal. But a lot of DACA recipients, they are sending a lot of their money back across the border.
Having lived in San Diego, there were people moving across the border all the time.
100%.
And they did all the grass. They were the maids. And then they went back across the border every night and they went back home. That's what a lot of them did in San Diego.
Well, that's because it's so close to the border.
Right.
Yeah.
But they totally did. But right now what we have is an invasion, since the leftists like to use these terms and, say... insurrection. Well, how about we say invasion? That is what is happening in our country right now. We are being invaded by all of these men who are coming into our country. Crime is going up everywhere.
But the thing is, they're not even coming from Mexico. They're coming from all over. As in people in Africa,
just go to Mexico,
the Middle East,
come in.
Exactly, or Honduras or Southern America. And the problem is, like, the only claim is they're asylum seekers. And nobody can even understand what an asylum seeker is, and that's what really pisses me off.
Right.
They're not asylum seekers. They're not under political persecution.
Barry, stop trying to define things. You bigot.
Oh, I know.
Man, you straight white.
Yeah.
They're given cash.
More
they're given a cell
profanities.
phone if they don't already have a cell phone, and then they're given
for a court date. That's what.
And a court date.
3 years out.
No, Barry's.
Half of them don't even have court dates on them.
5 to 10.
They're 20, 30 something. That's insanity. Like they're ever going to actually show up. So meanwhile, they go to wherever their little assigned places that they're going to go to in America that they've been told, go to such and such hangout place, because then when we say, okay, today is the day we're going to go attack Americans. Oh my goodness.
What about that one dude who was like, he was asked by the journalist, hey, who are you? What are you doing here? And he's like, oh, if you don't know me, you will soon. You're going to look stupid. Like, these are literally sleeper cells. This is like the Soviet Cold War.
There's no evidence of that on that video.
What?
You're totally speculating. I understand
I absolutely am speculating.
You're speculating.
A bunch of military-age men come across the border, and you're like, oh, they're going to just come over here and do good and spread world peace. Nah, they're sleeper cells. Half of them are just waiting for, like, the green light for them to go blow up whatever library or public park that they were assigned to.
We've done an episode on that, though, the Chinese migrants that have come over. And how scary that could be in the sleeper cells.
In Canada? They're doing drills in Canada?
No, they're here in America. We did a show on.
Yeah, because they have literal bases here.
Yeah, exactly.
And those are just let's not even talk about the Chinese.
Let's skip that. But about this, just to kind of fed this.
Just the ones
what do you think's going to happen with the Fed and this standoff?
Oh, I hope the Fed tries to do something, and it's
hope.
You know what? Honestly, listen. As far as history goes, I think it's a pretty telltale sign of what's going to happen next. The American Revolution didn't even start until a bunch of people got pissed off because there was a street fight and the Redcoats decided to fire into a crowd of people. That's the only reason why people were like, oh, crap, they don't care about us. They're actually going to kill some of us if it means that they get their way. And if that has to happen again, then... history doesn't repeat itself, but the human condition
I
does.
think you need to
And
clarify
humans
hope,
are
though.
selfish.
I don't think you hope that it happens.
No, I honestly.
I hope a peaceful situation and the government
nah.
says, forget
Peace
it, we're gonna
times,
fix this.
it ain't happening.
You don't want to fix the situation. You just want to have a full-out war.
No, I don't want to have a full-out war. I want.
That's what's going to happen.
Okay. I would like the federal government to show their true colors, and all of the liberal age 20-something-year-olds realize, oh crap, they don't actually care for us. They don't want to cancel our student loans. They just want to use us because a war is truly a rich man's fight but a poor man's battle, and we're just pawns, and they will happily go send us to die if it means that they get a few extra dollars in their pocketbook. And if that's what it takes for people to wake up, then so be it. What happened in, I think it was 2015, where the feds seized a bunch of land, cattle, and BLM Mustangs, and
Wasn't that
it was in
something ranch?
yeah, it was
not
in
Ruby Ranch.
South Texas, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
I know what
And
you're
guess
talking about.
what? A bunch of Texans and cattle ranchers got up on the highway overpass with a bunch of rifles and shotguns and horses
Didn't that
and
end
said,
poorly?
screw off. No, it didn't. The feds backed off because they realized, oh crap, we're surrounded by red-blooded Americans who know they're 2A, and they're going to use it to get their stuff back. And guess what? No one had to die, but the feds had to actually do a little something for people to go, oh crap, they don't care. They're coming after us.
Are you talking about Waco?
No, not the Waco
No.
bombing.
I want to say it's Ruby Ranch, but I don't think that's right. I don't know. I'll look it up. If I find it, I'll put it on there. But I know what you're talking about. It did happen.
Yeah.
It was like I thought it ended poorly for them though.
No.
But like, so if they overstep their bounds though, I mean, what does this mean? Like,
Oh, I think it was called the Bundy standoff.
Bundy, that's it. That's right. The Bundy Ranch. That's right. I remember that.
Because it happened, 2014.
Yeah, you said 2015, so that's good. That's a good time.
And you know what? Guess what? They backed off. They didn't try it again. I saw, you can actually go look on TikTok. All the videos from that are on there because that's how I learned that it even happened in the first place, was because I saw a bunch of POVs from people who were actually there, all horseback, all with rifles, all in military camo because they're all a bunch of veterans, rednecks, and ranchers and farmers. And they were like, yo, government, feds, your little alphabet agency people, give us back our stuff.
Well,
That wasn't Texas, though.
It was Nevada.
Yeah, it was Nevada.
yeah, Nevada.
Our neighbor. Great.
Okay, so
Same
to
government.
back off of that, what about the Fed spying on the bank accounts for the militias? Because that was a militia technically, right? Was
I
the
don't even
Bundy
think
Ranch?
it was a militia. It was just a bunch of pissed off neighbors and ranchers that all
they
came
become
together.
a militia though. They become a group, an organized group.
Well, the
I mean-
government will name anybody any name they want if it fits their purposes.
Honestly,
So, I
me
mean,
and my little friend group, you could call us a little militia.
You guys train.
What am I allowed to say on YouTube? Is my question.
Let's not talk about that, especially right now, because again, this story here. Let's move on. Is the Fed spying on the bank account story? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you guys heard about that.
Yes.
Yup.
Yes.
I mean, I think
and
I
all
told
the
you guys a
banks
little
just
bit.
Willingly gave over all of the.
Well, yeah, what was it? The government was asking. It didn't say exactly which banks, but it was more like
Because they were
if the word
tracking
MAGA
all
or
of your
Trump
shop
was used in some
purchases.
sort of like maybe Venmo transaction.
I thought it was
or
the
something.
shop purchases because they were like
And that
asking
as
well.
people
It
like
was
at-
at-
no, it was
Cabela's
at a Bass
and
Pro
Bass
Shop.
Pro Shops.
Because
Yeah.
if
And
you
Rifles
buy a Bible,
Walmart.
you're an extremist. So
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
that was the
that's
most
same.
insane thing about this document was it was transportation charges, bus tickets, rental cars, plane tickets that were traveled to areas with and I put this in quote, apparent no purpose. What does that even what does that define as?
Apparent no
As in,
purpose.
Like
What-
have you
How
guys
does our
ever
government
seen-
define what no purpose
Have you ever
is?
seen the movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey?
I love Jim Carrey, but I've
Okay,
never seen
it's
the
actually
movie.
it's probably his last really good movie that he did. I think it was like in the late 2000s. But basically, he's a guy who goes and he literally says nothing but the word yes. He goes like this, like a seminar, and he just goes and says yes. Well, it ends up making to this all these events happen where he ends up being thought as a terrorist because he takes a flight, he learns another language, he takes pilot lessons. He takes a flight to
Okay,
literally
actually,
Lincoln,
that sounds
Nebraska.
familiar.
But
what's the point?
the whole point is the feds think that he was like
A terrorist,
a
sleeper
terrorist
cell.
cell awakening because he went to Lincoln, Nebraska for no reason on a whim for a day, and then he left again, and then so basically, my whole point was like that whole premise of this, of where what does it mean? Like you're traveling to random places, and you're using a car because you need a car. Now
Like-
it's deemed you're a terrorist militia.
So
Supporter.
being spontaneous is now terrorist.
Jerry, we've already established that the government will define you in any way they want to define you to meet their purposes.
They don't
we already know that there is no longer a fair and equal justice system in our country. That's been evident ever since Biden took over. So I mean, they will.
Didn't
they
start
will
before
call-
that though too. Maybe
What's that?
didn't
This has
start
been going
before
on
that.
for 10 plus, 20 plus years.
I think it's become
Since
more
the
prevalent.
Patriot
I think
Act.
it's-
Let's be honest.
Okay,
That's
Patriot
Yeah,
started
exactly.
there.
That's what I'm talking about.
And you know what's the crazy thing is they called
Mhm.
that act after 9/11 the Patriot Act to make us all
That was
buy
fake.
into it.
9/11
to go,
was
"Oh,
fake.
You'll be an actual patriot.
9/11
by-"
did happen. Let's
Okay, it did happen, but it wasn't because of a bunch of terrorists.
It probably wasn't because of what they told us.
No,
Well, I
those
think
were
that they-
innocent, just random people who just happened to be the right skin color and looked like the nationality, and a bunch of Americans back in 2001 all panicked and was like, yeah, this type of people are the people who are dangerous, when in reality, it were the people in suits over on a certain hill in D.C.
Well, to go off on that though too, you have to remember the internet wasn't
Stigmas.
around back then.
All the more
It
reason.
was just starting, and I believe the reason why you believe that today, and I believe that, is because
Monumental
of the internet.
myths.
No, I'm saying I believe it's because we were able to actually
Do research.
not only listen to what the media is fed to us, which is Project Mockingbird
Dog
and
water.
the government-run media with propaganda. Like, we're actually able to look and actually question things. The reason why I think you believe that is because of the internet.
I learned it because of a book.
But I'm saying the
I'm
the
old
concept
fashioned,
of
Barry.
sharing information.
I
is
like
what I'm trying to say.
paper, opening it, and it
Yeah, and that
smells
person
like a
on the book
library.
probably got it from the internet as well.
I got it from Ty and Charlene Bullinger.
But I'm just saying.
Who,
Anyway.
by the way, were on Joe Biden's like terrorist watch list of like 10 most terroristic leaders of the cult in America today. And I'm like, these people, all they do is like help people understand that nature and nutrition and what God has created for us is actually better for us than Big Pharma. But you know what? That's a terrorist in his eyes. But then again, he also mistakes a 7-year-old for a grown woman he can hit on. So I'm not really trusting his judgment.
Yeah, but well, about those books though, like you just said though, this says that the purchasing of books, including religious texts,
Yeah,
is
that's what
part
I
of
said.
that's
The Bible.
deemed
How
as
much
a,
do you
it's
want to
deemed as a
bet that the
terrorist
Quran is
action.
not on that?
Right, the Quran's not on there, but the
The
Bible.
one that
The
one that-
Bible!
You mean the number one book, the religion that actually commits terrorist attacks?
Oh
the
yeah,
religion?
what was that one specific verse in there that was talking about how even the rocks and the trees will cry out, "Ma Allah, there is a Jew behind it. Come over here and kill him."
Oh,
like
that was the Hamas charter that we
yes,
did when we did that.
yes,
episode.
yes, that
Yeah,
episode.
I don't think I ever aired that episode because I just didn't feel
Oh,
we were qualified
Barry!
enough to talk about it.
That's
I
so-
still have it. I
Do
might post
it.
again.
Do
I don't
it.
know. I don't know. That was during the weird time of like both of us kind of like struggling with doing this too.
I thought that was actually a good episode. I was wondering where that went.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did it. I was in a lull at that time.
I
That was a
liked
couple
that
months
episode.
ago.
That was
Okay,
episode
I want
of
to go back to
Anyways.
the border thing. So
Ugh.
here was concerns. Some friends and I were talking about this for the guardsmen that are obeying Abbott's order to protect our border.
Are they gonna get
Our
in trouble?
government, our federal government, I should say, is so stinking corrupt that here is our fear for the guardsmen who are obeying Abbott now. That the federal government would then try to go after the individual guardsmen with heavy fines, possible imprisonment, or whatever, because what the federal government is going to do is they're going to redefine the National Guard as a militia. And, you know, once the government defines you as whatever they want to define you
this
as,
is a big
that's when
load of
they can
poppycock.
charge you with whatever they want to charge you
So
with.
that would mean
So, but my point
Abbott-
is,
Abbott and Ken Paxton would need to
protect those guys and say,
man up and say F you.
exactly, and they better, when the federal
You and what
government
army
Stick it
goes
to the
after
man.
those guardsmen, they need to be like, no, we are protecting you, and then whatever sort of legal action that needs to be taken to protect those guardsmen for doing the job that Governor Abbott has told them to do in protecting our border, then Abbott better back that up. And he and Ken Paxton better be like, okay, game on, Biden. You want to go down this route? Then, okay, let's play it.
I don't get it, though, because, like, when it all boils down to it, they only have that power to go after these people because they have a bunch of mindless drone yes men who just do exactly what Master told them to do. Like, at what point do people, like, in the military or the IRS agents that are, sent to go arrest this guy because he didn't pay his $500,000 fine for protecting the border, like, at what point do those people go, I'm not gonna commit treason today?
Of that, though, of nothing but people just doing what.
Isn't that where they came for the gypsies, but I was not one, so I just stayed silent.
Sure, but I mean, like,
from World War II.
like the brown coats and the red coats and stuff like that, like, and then they would just do whatever they're told because the government is actually feeding their families, right?
But
so,
they're
I mean,
not feeding us.
Their goal isn't the Constitution. Their goal is my family is fed. Yeah, my family has food in their bellies. Therefore, I'm going to do what the government tells me to do. Look at 2020. We've realized that all the cops doing everything they can across the country to suppress religious institutions, businesses. Like, it's not. I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I agree, but I don't think cops are going to be the.
This is why you should be self-sufficient.
Protectors. I'm sorry, what?
This is why you should be self-sufficient. This is why learn how to plant your own gardens, grow your own food. Like, why do we feed into this so freaking much? I don't get it.
Well, I mean, it goes into the same thing as the vaccination. So many people were against getting the whole, whatever we're going to call it now. But for the sake of keeping their job, because they were afraid to lose their job.
They just got it.
I have never met a single person who didn't get the vaccine and regretted it.
Sure.
None. But I have met plenty of people who got it and they were like, I screwed myself. And I was like, ha! Told you! And what did you call me? Crazy. And then those same people have the audacity to be like, why didn't you warn us more? And I'm like, you moron. Yes, we did. We only tried to for over 2 years. And what did you guys do? You canceled us. You fact-checked us. Anytime we mentioned even the word COVID vaccine, the video automatically got removed. We tried our absolute best. But what do these people do? Ignore it. Because everybody knows that Fauci has everyone's best interest in mind. And, Mr. Gates up there, he's never once wanted to, get rid of a few of the useless eaters in the population of the world. He totally didn't say that 20 years ago. Absolutely not. He didn't say it.
Not at all.
That's just fake. Fake news.
So basically it goes to the point of everybody does what's in their own best interest. So the cop does what he's told, even though he knows, okay, I shouldn't be arresting this person who's sitting at the beach during lockdown, even though it seems stupid, the person's sitting there. I mean, you remember that even happened in crazy places like Florida. Like, do you remember? Cops,
it's happened here in Texas.
You couldn't go to your kid's baseball game in the park.
So the cop wants his paycheck. He does that.
Well, look at here. So
if I was a cop,
just to kind of wrap this before we go on to the next topic, though. I showed you the video when we were filming the TikTok thing yesterday. The Houston's Food Not Bombs video. There's an organization in Houston that has a whole account. They get fined every single week because Houston has a law that says if you feed over 6 people, you get fined. Because they don't want people in a park or near a business, but cops are sitting there and just fining them. And the cops, I think I even saw a video where a cop was like, "I don't really agree with this, but I'm just doing my job."
Okay, if I was a cop, I would be blind.
Homeless people.
I would be blind.
That's the whole point of just people will just do what they're doing because they're getting paid to do it.
Well, so, that's also
that's
government sticking their hand into stuff that they don't need to be sticking their hand. Right. The government wants their hand in everything.
Yeah, well, that's a big problem. So, okay, we'll move on. Let's go on to the next subject of DeSantis.
He dropped out.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Congratulations.
Well, now he's supporting Trump though too, which I find interesting.
I mean. DeSantis was such a great guy. I mean, he was just a classy and sassy governor. I loved him. And then he did smear campaigns against Trump and lied about stuff. And then he just
Well, he made
kind of
up a
went
bunch.
off the
Him and his
rails.
campaign made up, I think, like literal AI images.
Yeah,
like,
that's
like
of
of
him
him
and
hugging Fauci. Yeah,
that
which is
didn't
ridiculous.
happen.
Yeah, and it's just insane.
Which, like, okay, you know, the best way to lie is to have a little bit of the truth in it. And, like, Trump did, you know, support the vaccine, but, like, that picture was fake. So it's not like he totally was like, oh, yeah, Trump wants everyone to die with the vaccine. Like, that wasn't really what happened. But, like, oh, well. Oh, and then there was Shoegate. That kind of was funny. And that was a whole trending thing with DeSantis.
Shoegate.
Yeah, Shoegate. So everyone for like a brief month was
that's right.
talking about the fact that it looked like in his shoes there were like, you know, the little like 1-inch heel heighteners inside the shoe, and everyone was like psychoanalyzing his shoe, and they're like, bro, just be a short king and just stay short. But he was like, you know, wearing fake shoes. I don't know.
He never really addressed that either.
No, he didn't. And I think it might be because it was true.
It probably was true. Yeah,
He's-
he didn't want to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of sad.
Have you ever seen him wear flip-flops? I haven't. But I sure as heck have seen Trump wear flip-flops, and he's still 6'3".
When did you see Trump wear
At the beach. I mean, it wasn't the most attractive photo of him, but he was in sandals. You couldn't have any heel heighteners at the
Well, he's
beach.
just a tall guy. I think he's like 6'3".
I know, but everyone
His
was like,
son's
Trump
taller.
is like...
His kid's like 6'6".
Have you seen Barron? Oh my gosh, what are they feeding that boy? He's like a beanstalk.
Do you know what they said? They fed him, Melania's mom fed him all sorts of good food. So that's where they said, I saw something the other day that said that's where he had his growth from.
Wow.
Melania's mom.
So he's
Genetics.
got
I mean, come on.
her supermodel height and Trump's
Trump was just a big
hair?
guy anyway. But no,
He
so
kinda
like,
was, but-
but okay, so about DeSantis' campaign though, like, I don't understand the purpose of what he was doing. I think I told you guys earlier, is I feel like
he might have actually had a shot if Trump wasn't there.
he should have just been VP and he was a shoo-in for 2020.
Okay, I think that's what
Yeah.
everybody forgot.
He should have just
That
done that.
all the Republicans forgot to be nice and play together in the sandbox nicely because Trump was only going to be able to be president for
No
4
one ever
more
does that
years.
though.
But if they all played nicely, then they would have been picked as VP, and then Trump would win this year, and then
And then
2020
DeSantis for
right, and he
hopefully
would-
4-8
right.
years, and then
But they
Vivek after
all-
that.
They
like,
always forget that, and why can't they just be kind to each other? Like, that's what I will give the liberals credit for, is they are a machine. They stick together, they get behind their man or their woman.
But
and
they don't though during the primary. Remember, everyone was calling Kamala Harris even called Joe Biden that he was a racist person in the debate stage, and they were
Yeah,
always
that's
fighting
true.
against each other. But like then they all come together afterwards. That's why I just don't like politics. I think it's just
They're all a bunch
stupid.
of
like
two-faced, double dog,
like-
pony soldier liars.
it's just frustrating. I don't know, but I don't know. I just feel like DeSantis ruined his entire career. I don't think he's gonna be in politics anymore. Not likable. He doesn't have the it factor.
Who was that one female Democrat politician in the primaries for the president? She was a woman. Oh gosh, she says a lot of really great stuff. I would actually get behind her.
You're not
She's a
talking about Elizabeth Warren.
No.
Are you sure she's Democrat?
Yes, she's a Democrat.
Nikki, no, not Nikki.
It's not Nikki Haley.
Hawaii, right? Hawaii. Why am I blanking on her name?
I
don't
know. That's exactly.
She was actually a
Gross,
pick for potential Trump VP. Why am I blanking? It's Hawaii.
She's the
I
one
can't
we
think
like.
of. I can't think of her name.
I'm blanking too.
Oh my gosh, this is
hold
gonna
on.
drive me nuts. Hawaii.
Oh my gosh, this is killing me.
I know what.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi
that's the one.
Gabbard.
Jesus.
There we go.
I don't
But
know
I
why-
think she went independent, is what she.
No, it
No,
still
she's out.
says she's a Democrat.
She did go. No, she
but
she
I
left
mean,
the party.
She
She
left the
officially
party, but-
left it last year.
Well,
right, but I don't think she said I'm officially a Republican. I think she's more like
Yeah, she's independent. She's like, I'm done with the
well,
Democrats.
when you Google her, it still says D.
Yeah, but no, that's because when she ran, but she officially left on her Twitter. She officially announced it. I remember her saying it. She says a lot of good things, but she's also she's on that level where I throw Dan Crenshaw. That kind of warmonger. She was a military person.
I love her
I also
hair.
do think she's kind of fake.
Aren't
Just like
they
Dan Crenshaw. I
all?
think he's very fake.
Let's be honest. The only real
Um,
one that we've seen in 20 years has been Vivek.
There we go. That's the person we need to talk about right there.
Why did he have to drop out?
Because
I
he didn't get
literally-
enough votes. That's why.
I don't.
Why keep throwing money into nothing?
I know he ended the night with like 8.2%, but like he's so good.
Well, we will definitely see him in the future. Like, I don't know. I saw that tweet where he was on some bus with his son in New York City, saying he's off the campaign bus and he's on to the next adventure.
Not a real buzz.
But we will see him again because he.
I hope so. He was so
everything
awesome.
that is true to, I wouldn't say the Republican Party, everything that is true to a true conservative. Vivek, I mean, I think he spoke so much to true conservative values that it made everybody wonder, okay, what is he hiding from us? Because there must be something.
What's wrong with you? You're too
Yeah,
perfect.
That's the thing, though. It's more of an American first thingy. Like,
Not even
I know that has a bad
Republican.
connotation now, but I think that's kind of where the country's moving, is America first. Because the Republicans are do nothing party. They never do anything,
Lame.
and they're the opposite side of the Democrats. That's all they are. They're the same coin. They have the same playbook.
Well, and that goes along with what Savannah's dad says all the time. You know what they do in DC? They just swap the big plane back and forth.
No, they
So,
swapped the keys over. Here you go. I'll take it back in 4
It's
years.
your turn to fly the big plane. Okay, now it's your turn to fly the big plane. I mean, yeah, I would say our Republicans and our Democrats are both
They all
equally as
suck.
guilty of all sorts of. They're equally guilty at lying to us and
Correct.
deceiving us and not telling us the truth. You know, the hardest thing to do these days is to speak the truth because of the fact that nobody wants to hear it and because of what you're charged with if you do speak the truth. But Democrats and Republicans are both totally guilty of lying.
They're all
So
a bunch
anyway,
of
so I would say
pansies.
Vivek, though, was, you're right, America first, but I would put that more in line with a conservative view as compared to a liberal view.
Correct.
Because a liberal
Well, a
viewpoint-
conservative does not equal Republican, and
Right.
vice versa, and that's the problem. Is most people equate the two, but I think they're completely different people.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a Republican. I would say conservative, or I would say America
You're
first.
an America first
I mean,
conservative.
Yeah.
Because
you know what?
America first, because it
I'm
makes
not-
sense.
Right.
It's even biblical, because how does Jesus say to go and disciple? First you do the Jew, then you go to the
Gentile.
the Gentile, then you go to the Galatians, and you have this is how you disciple. You have to work with
Your
the
way
people
out of your
closest
circle.
near.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you have to disciple there, and then you move out. If America has a lot of issues, which we do, we're at what? I think we just toppled 34 trillion debt. I think
good
in the last
Lord, don't
2
say
months or
so.
something like that. Like, and it's just going up like several trillion a year now. Like, that's insane.
All right, here's my plan. Anybody want to go buy land in an undisclosed location and
Yes.
just no longer exist?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
so long as we
100%.
could
I'm down.
actually get some land that wasn't near like
No. Actually,
because China has taken.
You really
over
want to get
lots of
into
the
it? You
land.
really want to get into it? We could go full Rambo mode and just Wild West it. Like, it's not who pays for the land, it's who has the shotgun and is sitting on his front yard going, do it. I dare you. I dare you. Try me. I have really good aim and
Okay.
endless supply of ammo.
You don't want to say that, Sam, because then the government will be like, now you're part of.
I was
you're
already
the
on
next-
that list.
You're already on the Waco list or the whatever.
I was
You know
on
what?
that list already.
I have to tell you guys some verses. I just finished reading Judges the other day. Everything that happened in Judges, just all sorts of crazy stuff that was happening. But the very last verse in that Bible, or in the very last verse in the chapter, says, "In those days, Israel had no king. Everyone did as they saw fit." And I mean, I think that's exactly what's happening in our country right now. Everyone is doing whatever the heck they want.
Glorify
Because
they
there's no
have
leadership.
And you know what? I also read a verse in
There's no
Proverbs.
morals.
Proverbs 28:2. It says, "When a country is rebellious, it has many rulers. But a ruler with discernment and knowledge maintains order." And if you guys think about that, a country is rebellious, as many rulers. Like right now, our country is in total turmoil. I would say it's rebellion everywhere. As many rulers, yeah, because we don't know who the heck is actually leading our country.
Not
right
Joe
now.
Biden. He's
Is
eating
it
his
Biden?
Chucky
Is it
ice
Obama
cream.
behind the scenes? Like,
I
who
think
the
it's
heck
all
is it?
planned, to be honest.
Well,
But that's a
yeah,
whole
I
nother
agree.
conspiracy rabbit
You
hole.
believe in the shadow government?
100%.
I do too. But just think back to when, as much as people hated the mean tweeter, but a ruler with discernment and knowledge
bad?
maintains order. So would you look back at where we're at right now versus looking back, 4 years back, where we had not as high of unemployment, where we didn't have our border being invaded as much, where we actually, so many good things where we had more order when we had a leader who had discernment knowledge. Yes, he did mean tweets. But like right now,
were they really mean, or were people just
because
mad?
We're all so emotional.
It's because he's a New
days.
Yorker. That's why New Yorkers have a bad rep for being usually kind of brash.
Yeah.
Wait, which part of New York was he from? The Bronx?
I have no idea. He's just
Specifically
a New Yorker.
because
He's just a New Yorker.
you ever talked to a New Yorker before? Them guys from the Bronx, they're a pretty scrappy bunch. That went from a New York accent to like British there for a second.
Well, that's because right now, what's the most important thing is our feelings and our emotions. Which that tweet by Charlie Kirk, that video,
yeah,
you need to show that, because that was actually a very good thing to talk about.
Well, explain what it is.
All right, so there's
people listening.
Yeah, so there's this person who.
Oh my gosh,
up.
It's an oversized they them zimzer who's like, bro, why are you here? And Charlie Kirk is like, well, because once we start talking to each other and once like we stop having a human connection, like that's when people go from it just being a conversation to like, I want to get rid of you. Unalive, game over, because you hurt me feelings and me feelings are more important. And then he's like, does me being here hurt your feelings? And he's like, no. And he's like, does me really hurt your feelings? And he's like, no, it angers me. Point blank. Like,
well, again, his point was that the moment we stop talking is the moment that we have failed as society and we start hurting each other wholly. And that's what causes civil war and civil strife. That's what he was saying.
And that's exactly where we're at right now. And I think he made a great example.
That's where we've been for a while.
In a marriage, if you stop talking to your spouse and you just pass each other in the day or the night, if you actually stop communicating, then your marriage will fail. Yeah. And that is exactly what's happening right now. As I guess
we have a divorce.
You want a divorce?
I would like a divorce.
I want a divorce.
The Bible doesn't condone divorce unless there's physical violence and abuse involved. And I really feel very...
That's what they're committing.
I feel very victimized right now. Not gonna lie, my pocketbook took a really bad beating.
Is equating to marriage. So
I know. I want a divorce.
It could just be a separation.
I want a divorce.
You don't need to justify it. As
sign the papers, damn it. Goodbye.
I don't think you need to justify it.
When we go to court and we have to divide the assets, they can have California, Washington, Oregon, and you know what? I'll even throw in New York because I'm feeling nice.
You've seen a map. You've seen a map of the red and blue. There is no such thing as a blue state. They're only blue cities.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Okay, you know what? Then we're being generous. Barry, I am being so generous.
Because the only way that the city gets food is from those red areas.
Exactly.
So therefore,
let them suffer.
Oh my god! See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what we're talking. That's what this video is talking about. Is you are so like black-pilled on this that you don't even want to help the other people.
I tried. I have tried. My entire political
I like it.
Social media influencing has been me trying. And you know what that got me? Doxing, death threats, grape threats, every single thing in the freaking book. And so at what point, the Bible literally tells us, if they will no longer listen to you, then dust your feet off them and go away. That's what the Bible says. I am dusting my little sandals off of them, and I want to go away. Better yet, I want them to go away.
You can't do that in a country.
Okay, well,
says who? That's how every single country was formed and fell apart. Because someone said...
You know what? You should have to live by what you vote for. So you know what? So all of the leftist crazy people who are voting for all of this craziness, they should be forced to live under the economic and under all of the whatever way they vote for. That's what they should have to live under. So where we are more like for leave me alone, stay out of my business, government. Like leave me alone, stop taxing me. Like whereas quit taking something from every single part of me. Whereas the leftists want the government all involved in everything and they want to be in there, then let them live by that and let us live by just leave me and my family alone.
Matthew 10:14. If anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, shake the dust off your feet when you leave that home, that town, and them. I'm dusting my feet off. Sandals, be darned. Peace out, losers.
I don't think it's that.
Why? Why do you have to make everything so complicated, Barry? Why does everything
Because
have
I
to
live
be so
in
complicated?
reality.
No, reality says, "Oh, you took my thing. I'm taking it back. Oh, you won't give it back. Okay, cool."
Jesus always said, if the man takes your shirt, or was it?
If a
You
man
take something-
takes your shirt, give him your cloak also. Guess
Correct.
what? I gave them the freaking whole castle. They have everything. They don't freaking need me. You think that we have a single drop of power in when it comes to looking at this these days? They have Congress. They have the White House. They have the military. They have literally every single thing
Who is
they want. The Democrats, liberals, leftists, these socialists, absolute morons. They got everything. The only thing left that we could possibly use against them, which is honestly the most powerful thing of all, and that is the power of the people and the mind and the truth. Once we realize that the board game is being played at the expense of us and on our backs and we stand up, the game falls apart. It's quite simple to actually undo everything that they've done. But people don't want to take that route because they want to do it, this politically correct way with all these meetings. You know what? No. Forget that. Listen, you take our stuff, we go a little bit, full just, Nagasaki and Hiroshima on them. That'd make them stop.
Goodness. On who? But where do you do that? I don't understand.
What if we all stopped paying taxes? What if we
I agree
all
with that.
stopped just playing their stupid game? We don't need to go full DEFCON 12 on them and actually take lives. Just stop playing their stupid game. Because they're perfectly willing and capable of unaliving and game overing all of us. But we don't have to go that route. Just stop playing the stupid game. It's a dumb game. It's at our expense.
But the issue is I think 2020 is a test to this. You said that we have this on our side. We have like the free thinking people. I don't think we do. I don't think there's a silent majority.
That is why I said the feds earlier, like I said earlier, need to actually do something. Blood might have to be shed for people to go, oh crap, they don't care. Every single example in history has proven that once a government actually took innocent lives, showed their true colors, only then did people come together and rally against them. It was never when, there was a little taxation here or a little federal government theft over here or a little bit removal of these rights over here because quite frankly, nobody cares. Their lives didn't change. It was the second when their lives were actually on the line did people go, oh, we gave them too much power. My bad. Reel back in the reins or just chop it off completely.
Maybe we're there, unfortunately. I hope not, but...
Well, that's what history proves.
Well, exactly.
That we're there.
The fourth turning shows is we are there.
We're literally on the front porch. Take another step off and we're straight into it. Take another step back and you're living in a lie.
Really unfortunate.
Take your pick. Red pill, blue pill. Blue pill, you can live in your delusion for the rest of your life. Red pill, you look up and see the reality that we live in and go, oopsies. We may be messed up. You can call that radical, but I call that the freaking truth. You really think I want to go to war right now? No, I want to live on a compound with a fuzzy cow and bake my sourdough bread and have chickens and fuzzy animals just for the rest of my life and growing flowers and wearing skirts and not having to wear pants. It sounds great. You think I want to go to war? No.
I don't think many people want to go to war.
No one does, because it's a terrible, awful thing. But when push comes to shove, they poked the bear, and now they're going to get their arm bit off. But quite frankly, we've been biting their hand, and guess what? They just keep smacking us back on the nose and taking a little spray bottle and just going psh, psh, or taking a little bit of a newspaper and going pop. At some point, the bear needs to just go for the jugular. It's like a hydra. You can keep cutting off the head, but two more will grow, so you go for the heart.
Well, again, that's why I think this is all planned. I think this is
all planned
that
for us
whole
to
secret
die.
Conspiracy of somebody else is really in charge.
Yeah.
You want to know an even crazier conspiracy theory?
Who?
They
I
want
have
us
no
to go to
idea.
war with them, so inevitably they'll have less people to control
Exactly.
later.
Exactly.
So do we go to war and give them less people to control, or do we go to war to try to stop them? Because either way, we're screwed. So
I don't
That's a
know.
terrible thought.
Well, that's the whole theory with this, with whole Nikki Haley. My theory is she is the establishment, 100%. The fact that like
changes
Democrats
her
are
mind all
actually
the time.
going and voting for her, like is insane. But like, I don't understand what she's trying to do.
Win an election by any means necessary.
Well, like look at this video. Okay, so like, put on your headphones for me. The video here is like
We were the
Like, here, I'll
only
just
Indian
play it.
family in our small southern town. I was teased every day for being brown. So anyone that wants to question it can go back and look at what I've said on how hard it was to grow up in the deep South as a brown girl. Anybody can look at my record and see when Walter Scott was shot down by a dirty cop, how I made sure that the Walter Scott family didn't suffer because we put the first body.
Okay, blah, 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 blah.
I don't understand. Is
Okay,
she
did I-
Elizabeth Warren 2.0 here? Like,
Okay. Did anyone else not know she was Indian, brown, whatever she wants to call
Who
herself?
cares? She doesn't look
Nobody!
Indian or brown. Who cares?
But you know what the irony part is that I saw a TikTok from a liberal woman who was like, you know why Nikki Haley isn't, higher in the polls over the 3 white men? It's because she's a brown woman and Republicans would never vote for that. Like, dude, none of us knew that she was brown. Literally, if she had blonde hair, you would literally be telling her that she is race baiting or that she is trying to claim a culture that wasn't hers. Honestly, it looks like we're the same color, and I'm a pretty white girl. But because I have red hair, I look a lot whiter. But if I had my normal brown hair like her, we would look the same. Who knew that she was Indian? And who the heck cares? And you know what? That whole BS about, first of all, can you turn down the volume, Barry, on the headphones because I can hear it coming out of it? Thank you. Anyway, who the heck cares about the fact that she is brown and that whole BS about the Deep South thing? Like,
You know what's funny?
what? No one in the South cares.
You know, Terrence Williams tweeted about that. He tweeted yesterday, just in, Nikki Haley is claiming she was teased and bullied for being a brown girl. I was teased every day for being brown. He said.
I was teased for wearing dog collars.
Hold
So
on,
what?
Hold on. If
Wore
Nikki
dog-
Haley.
hold
Wait,
on.
no, I have to
You
finish.
wore dog
Wait, go
collars?
finish mom's thing
Hold on a
first.
second.
No, you can't just
No,
stop.
whoa. Go to mom and then we'll go to the dog colors
He
thing.
says, if
What?
Nikki, Barry,
Ah!
if Nikki Haley is a brown woman, then I'm a white man with blue eyes and blonde hair.
That is a black dude with a white beard.
Who said that?
Terrence Williams.
That just makes me
He's
laugh.
really funny kid.
He
I like
totally
that
makes
guy.
me laugh. But yeah, but Savannah, you can't say that anymore because these days that's turned into only the
I was
leftists. The
12.
leftists are who are the ones who.
Okay, I didn't wear them because I thought I was a dog. I wore them in memorial of my dead dogs, which I don't know if that makes it better.
I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. to
Okay,
me.
when my dog died, I was really emotional because that was the dog that I was born with. Like, I grew up with that dog. When he died, or no, first of all, when she died, the sister, I wore her pink dog collar because, I was mourning. And then when her brother died, I started wearing his collar.
But you wear it.
Like,
around,
I wear it
like,
around
to
my neck.
school,
Yes,
or-
to Awana, around. Depending on what color my outfit was that day, I would either put on Grant's black collar or Lily's pink collar.
She was just a. It
I'm
was
not
just,
gonna lie, it's kind of weird.
Okay, and you know what? I had sparkly matching fedoras to go with it. So leave me alone, Barry. I was a weird child.
This explains a lot, actually.
And you know what? I was bullied for it. And you know what? I didn't care.
Rightfully so.
But you know what?
Goodness.
But
Honestly,
Barry, the difference is she didn't think she was a dog.
I didn't think
So
I
you
was
know what I mean? People who do that these days
although
think
we
they're
were
dogs.
homeschooled and we did play
What if you
Robin
were a
Hood
kid
today.
nowadays? I mean, I know you with your family it wouldn't be brought up that way, but I mean, I guess.
I was bullied more for having glasses and a fedora than I was the dog collar. Because interestingly enough,
But
there was
here's the
another
thing,
girl at my
every
Awana who
single
wore
human
dog
being,
collars.
Every human is bullied.
Yes, so
Okay.
who cares?
I don't believe she was ever bullied for being brown.
She was probably bullied because she was a
Okay.
bossy kid on the playground. Not
Nikki
gonna lie.
Haley is just trying to
Race bait.
separate herself out because even the other day when she was
From what? The Indian that's actually in the race?
No.
Well, not in the race anymore, but like the actual Indian who's
She's
brown?
just trying to separate herself out from everyone else. Because even the other day, she said something along the lines of, none of the fellas can talk about abortion. And she said that whole, like she was like, because what, only women can actually talk about abortion? I think,
Rude.
so she's separating herself out from the guys by,
So
making
why is she using
statements.
Democrat talking points?
Because she's a Democrat.
She is the epitome
She's the
of
I guess
Republican
that's my
version
point.
of Tulsi
She-
Gabbard.
So if she's
she
saying,
is a rhino.
Blah, blah, blah,
And-
blah, blah, blah.
I mean, she
is
was,
she even a rhino at this point?
or she's a Democrat.
She
She
you're
is
saying-
the Republican Tulsi Gabbard.
Hmm.
Yes. Tulsi Gabbard said more conservative Republican things than a Democrat, and she switched. Nikki
don't think that's
Haley
true. I
says
don't
more
think it's true.
Democrat things than she does Republican things.
No, I think
waiting for
Tulsi
her to
Gabbard
switch.
is a 90s Democrat.
And you know what?
That's
A
what
90s
Tulsi
Democrat
Gabbard
is a
is.
2024 Republican because, lo and behold, we realized
I don't
that
think
the
that's true
Democrat
at
Party
all.
of JFK had way more common sense than even
That's
the
why the
Republican
Republican Party
right
is
now.
trash, is because they become a 90s Democrat. But
Yeah,
I
we
kind of
all
agree with you
moved
there.
to the left.
Everyone's moving
because,
left, yeah.
But
And I agree with you
To
there.
the
But
left, to
but I
the
don't think
left,
she's, again,
can you not sing to the left? Can we sing to the right?
to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right.
well, like, my
now
whole thing is just, like,
now
this,
now
why is she trying to have, like, some racial,
Because she doesn't have anything else
thing.
very...
like,
Tale
I
as
don't
old as
get it.
time.
Okay, personally,
people fall for
personally,
this?
I want to like her. I like the fact. I mean, to me, when she got up the other night and was saying, she commends, DeSantis for dropping out, but then she's like, I want to thank my husband who's deployed right now. So she's a military spouse. So kudos.
well,
to
she
her.
was in the military, too, I think.
Yeah, well,
I think.
kudos to her for like doing all of this while he's deployed for however long. I mean, I want to like her, but I've heard her go back and forth on way too many issues where I'm like,
She's
you're
just
not
weird.
putting America first. I mean, I feel
Well,
like
she's a warmonger, too, it
right.
seems.
She
wants to
totally is not
bomb.
looking out
She wants to
for
go to war.
America. She
Looking
has
out
this
for
different
herself.
platform where she's interested in
Her potential Raytheon ties and all that
Oh,
stuff. Like,
okay,
ooh.
Barry, you're putting words in my mouth
Sorry.
because I think that let's go to war because lots
Well,
of
after
people
she
make,
left, that's what she was working with after she left
lots
the
of people
UN
make money.
during Trump.
Yeah, the rich make money,
She
but the
wouldn't
poor
work with
men
the defense
go to war and
contracts.
die.
Yeah, how is it that you said it a second ago, Savannah? When we go to war,
A
what?
war is a rich man's fight and a poor man's battle.
Or who actually originally said
I have
that?
no idea. I just thought of that.
That's a
I don't
good-
know
that's
who
a good
said it.
line,
I'm pretty
though.
sure somebody else probably has thought and said that before in different words. But the point
All
still
right,
stands.
So here's my question for you. So obviously Trump is way ahead, and it'll be interesting to see if Haley gets any closer to Trump or if they keep this big distance that they have going. But assuming Trump keeps his distance and he is the pick for
Well, we'll see how tomorrow goes. Tomorrow
Okay, fair
tomorrow
point.
being New Hampshire primary
okay, so
caucus or whatever it is.
but who are we going to talk
Chin
about
itches.
as who would be
A VP?
Trump's pick for VP? Because some people say that he and Haley should make amends and come together.
See, I think
because-
Trump is too prideful and Nikki Haley is too stubborn, so that's probably not going to happen. I don't want it to be Vivek because VP needs to be someone important, but not that important, and Vivek is way too smart to be VP. So,
Well, it needs
well,
to
there's
be-
talk about Ben Carson. There's talk about what's the other guy, Tim Scott.
Yeah, Tim Scott.
They're-
Potentially he could
and I
help.
hope they're not going just because of
Boring.
the black
Oh,
thingy.
oh, but I'm sure they are because
See, that's what I hate about politics. Like,
But
at some point you have to play the game a little bit, or else you're not in the game.
we shouldn't be doing.
Literally, but that's.
okay, so but here's the
Were
thing.
you the one
If
2
he
seconds ago
picks-
that was like, be in reality?
He can't. Trump can't pick any
Hey,
white
I don't
guy.
mean I follow it all the time. Okay.
Trump cannot pick any white guy. He has
Why?
to pick because
Pence
he'll
was
be-
the biggest screw up Trump ever did. And you know
He
what? I
cannot.
never liked his face from the beginning. And you know what? I saw him in person and he signed my hat because I was in the front row. And even then I was like, your hair is too
The
white.
point
It's
is,
weird.
He
How
has
much
to
bleach
pick
is up there?
anybody other than a white man because you know what? The white men. The whole world is against white men right now, but he's gonna have to go.
Sorry,
for somebody else. He's gonna have
Barry.
to have a woman or
Yeah,
somebody.
I'm
of
pretty
color.
much irrelevant as it is. Anyways.
Yeah,
I already know
guys-
this.
yeah,
I'm invisible to
sorry.
everybody. It doesn't. It's
Barry,
Well,
we
okay,
don't
so
like
here's
you.
a question for you. What
You're
about
white,
the Lieutenant
straight.
Governor of Virginia, Winsome Sears? What do we think of her as a potential?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh my gosh, you don't know who Winsome Sears is? Okay, so
No,
she
I'm a Texan
is.
and I'm a
oh my
Californian
gosh,
before
I
that.
was a
So she's
Virginian
the
by birth,
Lieutenant
Texan by
Governor
choice.
of
Yeah,
Virginia.
why would I know who she is?
So she is an amazing older woman who was.
But she's
she-
probably like 50. Am I
She has
right?
grandchildren.
All right,
She's
fine.
older. I'm sorry. Aging is beautiful, but she's older. Don't take offense. Don't have your emotions cloud your judgment, mom. But anyway, she's an
Rich
older
coming
woman.
from you.
Oh my gosh. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so she's a Marine. She's a business owner. She's an entrepreneur. She is a kick-ass lady. Like, if there was anyone who is like an absolute role model, she's like an older version of Candace Owens, honestly.
Oh, is this why? Because she's black. That's why you want her.
No, she's awesome.
Well,
It's nothing to do with her.
it
She's
is
black.
to her advantage that she
I mean, yeah, that
is
helps.
a person
Oh, I know this
of
chick.
color.
She's the
because-
Jamaican chick.
Mm-hmm. Immigrant too.
She made like headlines a couple months ago, like
she's
for
pretty-
something. I don't remember what it was, but
She's pretty articulate. Anyway, I was just thinking, okay, so what about her? Or because
she was a freaking corporal in the Marines, an entrepreneur, a mother, a grandmother, a freaking immigrant, like a woman in, like, come on, a woman in the 80s in the Marines? Are you serious? Like, you know how much hell she had to probably go through to get that?
So here's the thing. She could help bring, like, Virginia is such a blue state now, and it makes me so mad because
It's going
I remember
red.
when Virginia voted for Clinton back in whatever year that was.
I didn't even exist yet, did I?
You did not.
It
I
would
did
have been
exist.
96.
Did I? No, I didn't.
No, it was when I was in college.
Oh, even before that. Well, 92.
I was not even an idea
Yeah.
yet.
So when the very first time, and I was so mad that all of my college peers did not vote
Because he played the saxophone.
Yeah, but anyway, so
Boo.
that's when it kind of went blue. But I mean, maybe she could help switch the state over to a red state. Another potential person. What do you think about Kristi Noem from South Carolina or South Dakota? I should say. I mean, I love.
I love her.
But
I
I,
think
don't
Kristi
think she
would be
brings
good.
anything to the table.
No, she doesn't.
I mean,
but she brings. You know what she brings?
She
You know what
brings that woman card.
No,
which
she brings
apparently
the
matters.
cowgirl card, Barry.
She
Damn
brings
it, she
the
brings the
rodeo.
cowgirl card.
And nobody
You know
cares
what?
about the cowgirl
You're right.
card.
No,
I
like
care
you.
about the cowgirl
Yeah,
card.
You're the
You know
one
what?
in 12
You know what?
people.
You know what? You know what? That woman carried the American flag on a beautiful palomino in the 2020 National Finals Rodeo.
Which brings
I
nothing
cannot-
to the
Oh my
table.
God.
Right. It doesn't bring
What
anything to the
politician can
table,
you
but
say
she's
did
beautiful
that?
and she's smart.
Like, how
No
freaking
one cares.
cool.
That's the thing. But she does bring that woman card, which again I think that's
So-
stupid. I don't like voting. It should be. This is affirmative action going on to women now, and I'm not saying Kristi Noem is not. I'm not saying this.
She's incredibly smart.
This
and she's
woman from
talented.
Virginia is that
And-
either. I'm saying, but that's why Kamala is where we're at. That's why the press secretary, the
But-
Jean Pierre woman.
but-
They're all diversity hires because
Right.
they're women and or
Right.
they're gay or they're black or they're trying to be this. What Nikki Haley's doing is I'm an brown Indian person when I'm not. No,
So
like,
how
this is
about
what I
we pick a
don't like.
person who's qualified?
Exactly.
And if the person happens to be a person of color, or it happens to be a person with,
Which
you know,
shouldn't matter at
a
all. It
female,
shouldn't even be
then
in
all-
the running.
it shouldn't. But
I
it
understand
is.
that it's where we are in
is.
the world today, and I know I'm ironically kind of making it that way when we see these things. But I mean, it's just I don't like. I don't know. I'm against it. I don't know. I don't know who his VP should be. I don't really
did
care.
You know that,
But
did you know that Tim? Okay, so I've always liked Tim Scott, but he just got engaged.
Oh my gosh, on the beach. Yes, you didn't see that? That happened like 2 days ago.
No, I missed it. So he
It
proposed.
was literally all over
to-
Fox News. He proposed
he
to his girlfriend
proposed
on the beach. It was beautiful.
in South Carolina. So
Okay, who cares?
yeah,
But anyway, what he could potentially bring
this is not even interesting drama. It's just okay. Whoop-de-doo, you proposed.
Everybody knows.
okay.
proposals
But
don't-
Gary, the point is, if he is on the list of potential VP picks, is he married? Is he
Gosh,
single?
he's 58 too. Why is everyone
that
60?
58.
Is that old?
I'm
Am I allowed
not
to
saying
say
it's
that?
old.
I thought he was younger than that.
I thought so
actually.
too, but that it says here on that he's 58 on Google. But like,
yeah, I honestly thought.
I'm
he
not
was
saying
younger than
58
that.
is old. It's not.
I'm saying it's old.
I don't think it's old.
It's old.
Okay, so here's
But
what
like
the
the
news
thing
report
is like why is everybody 60 or above?
Okay, you're right. Like, let's. Okay, fine. Let's
Again,
find
that's
someone
why I
else.
like Vivek. That's not the number one reason. I understand. I
Look
understand.
how cool. She's
But
on a palomino.
okay, that's not
Beautiful
the number one reason
turquoise
why I
chaps.
like Vivek. But I mean, Vivek isn't 60.
All right, well, let's talk about Viveka's VP. I mean, you know
No!
what? Typically, VPs do nothing. But you know what? If Trump was president, he could say to Vivek, you know what? Go for it. Take on this. Take, you know what? Kamala is in charge of our border and absolutely failing because what? Has she gone to the border once? I think maybe. But Vivek,
It's not like she's doing anything.
no, she doesn't do anything at all. But do you know if Trump said, you know what, go for it. What do you want to help with? What things are important to you? I mean, do you guys remember a couple of tweets ago from a couple of days ago, Vivek's plan on day one if he was president? I mean, that list was
The
so
fire 75%.
that list was so long.
Do
and
it!
He brings so much to the table. And I know, Savannah, you just said that you think that
Even if he's like just an advisor for Trump, I would really appreciate him to where he would just. I mean, he doesn't need the money. He wants to do it for a service. Even if it's just an advisor to do that and say, like I imagine, like I would like to. It'd be a good advisor for him because obviously Trump cannot choose good people around him, or at least that's what his last administration proved. He chose horrible human beings, and he took advice from stupid people.
I like to call them just morons.
Okay, you know what Vivek
Idiots, turncoats,
yesterday?
blasphemous turds.
Listen to this. He said the real divide isn't black versus white or even Democrat versus Republican. It's the managerial class versus the everyday citizen. And that's pretty much what it is, right? It's the elites that are hiding behind, some screen, kind of like the Wizard of Oz, where he's back there pulling all of the, cords and working. You remember Wizard of Oz?
The man behind the green curtain.
Yeah, that's basically what they're doing in DC is they're determining everything, and then we are out here trying to live our lives. But gotta say, I like him.
Well, again, the reason why I like him too is he's a real human being. Not like there's all the stuff that he did on like TikTok and stuff like that, where he went like wakeboarding and he would go and talk with any human being. Period. He was the hardest working person during the entire election season. Like, even like you guys saw the Babylon Bee thing, right? Where after he dropped out, they wrote an article basically saying now Vivek, during his hard times, he's going to be in charge of the 7-Eleven at the White House because this White House doesn't have a 7-Eleven. We need a good 7-Eleven, and Vivek can take control of it. Vivek thought it was hilarious, but like a bunch of conservatives were all like, "This is racist," and even conservatives were like, they couldn't take a joke. Like, but he took a joke and he was totally fine with it. He had no issues.
Probably because he likes a good 7-Eleven.
Well, he thought it was funny.
Who doesn't love a good food poisoning?
But like, he's a
with
real
the questionable
being.
sushi.
Like, he's not a person afraid to say things.
Well, that's because he's a pretty jazzy dude. And you know what? Even Joe Biden said he can't find a 7-Eleven that doesn't have, some Indian man working in it. That was Joe Biden's words.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who his VP is going to be. I don't really. I personally don't really care much because, like we said, VP does nothing.
I don't know. I think we could have VPs that did do something. I just
change the stigma.
Yeah,
I agree, but I mean, well,
yeah, I think we could. I think with the right person, actually, I don't know. It's crazy to think that we have Kamala in that office, and the only thing that we know she does is maybe she
sleep
goes
around.
Out. The VP has the telescope out in their yard that they
will have a what?
On the vice president property, they have this huge, great big telescope thing that you look up at the sky. It's like this big one that it's an observatory basically on the VP residence.
Wow.
So the only thing that she's probably ever done in her time as VP is go out there and maybe Mars.
I really doubt that. Because if I was VP,
not.
That's the last thing I'd be doing.
I remember a lifetime
all she does is
ago.
talk in circles and doesn't make a point.
Okay, so who wants to talk about the fact that
literally
an
already said
actual real woman won Miss America? I mean, that is amazing that we can be shocked that a woman won a women's competition. I mean, these days, men
you have to wonder if it's a
women are winning competitions. Like just last week, some, golfing tournament in Florida. Guess who won the women's golfing tournament? Oh, this dude by the name of Haley Davidson, who's, I guess, a trans golfer, won the women's golf tournament. I mean, when are we going to stop pretending?
So, to be fair, though, too, who won? Was it a woman that's always won Miss America? It wasn't like the Miss Universe where the dude won who had the beard a few years back?
Okay, I have no idea about that, but I do know that there were certain countries who a man won. I think, I don't remember which countries it was. There was like 3 different countries at the last Miss Universe.
Yeah, I think maybe we were talking about the same thing. I don't know, but my point is, like, I think it's more interesting that the fact that a woman won, because obviously,
I don't think there were any men
typically it's
competing
only
in Miss
women
America.
that go into those pageants, right? Let's be real here.
There are no pageants for men.
Exactly. So
unless
I'm saying,
you're like a little child, in which case, yeah.
I think the thing is what she was. I think of who she was. She's an active military fighter.
Well,
pilot.
right. She just graduated from the Air Force Academy, and
she's trying to be a fighter
degree
pilot.
in physics. Yes,
like that's amazing.
Active duty service member. She also has a master's from Harvard Kennedy's School Public Policy program. So she had decided.
Basically, she's a badass. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, she's very much a badass, but it's very nice to see that.
But see, that's what I think should be more praised. Is typically a fighter pilot, yes, is considered a man's job, right? In all of history, pretty much. This woman is so talented in what she's doing that she's one of the few that can do that, and she's also, I don't know the critique. I don't know Miss
Well,
America.
let's be
I've never
honest.
seen Miss America, but my understanding is got to be kind of attractive as a general rule, right? I don't know
In
what
general,
they base Miss America, how you win. I don't know. Obviously, it's objective, but I don't know what they base it on. You were in rodeo stuff. How do they base that stuff?
Okay, rodeo was so different because I got
Isn't
judged
it
on
the same
horsemanship and speech and talent, just like that sort of stuff. Miss America, if I remember it correctly, there is a lot of walking. There is a talent portion, but you have to actually get to that point. So not everyone even gets to do talent. And then it's judged also based on, you say, my name is Savannah and I am from Texas. And then which is it Miss USA or Miss America that does the swimsuit walk?
I don't think Miss America does the.
I think it's
suit
Miss
thing anymore.
USA who
Yes.
does the
I
swimsuit
don't-
walk. So okay, they don't even do that. I don't know. It's pretty impressive. Oh, and there's interviews. I know that beforehand.
And she wrote on Instagram yesterday. So her name is Second Lieutenant Madison Marsh, and she basically
Slay
said,
queen.
"Here's to showing the world that women can do anything." And I am so proud of her. But these days, we don't really like showing that women can do anything. We like showing that men can pretend to be women. So our
Your generation
biggest
had
So that's
Wonder
my
Woman.
point.
You have to wonder it.
Why can't we normalize her being the, what is it?
The norm.
What's that dude's name? The swimming, the Riley Gaines guy, the Leah Thomas.
Oh,
The dude, right?
Leah.
He was so everywhere, right? He was praised. We all still know his name. In 3 weeks, we're not going to know who this woman is. And I think us three, might not know who this person is because we aren't going to normalize how, I guess, badass she is. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, we're gonna try our best to, but at the
But you
same
understand my
time,
point.
we actually have other things to worry about.
but you understand my point, though. Why aren't we
Democrats
normalizing
only
this
have
as
this to
society?
worry about. We have other things to deal with.
What do you mean?
Okay, Democrats, they literally live for the kind of news that is Leah Thomas. We have better things to do.
Oh,
I
okay,
could go
understand.
my entire life without looking at the news, and you know what? I would be fine. Democrats, they need that. They feed off of that. That's their energy. That is what
Well,
they
it's their
use to
religion.
keep going. It's their cult, whatever. Quite frankly, if you put Madison, what did you say her last name was? Marshall? Something? Whatever her name is.
Madison.
Okay, whatever her name is. If you put her in a lineup with a bunch of
So
other
you already don't
attractive
even know.
women, I wouldn't know because I have other things to deal with. I have schoolwork and a job and a friend group that I actually now get to enjoy. And I have this, and I have horses to train and dogs to exercise and costumes to make for cosplay conventions so I can go compete in my own thing. I don't have time and the mental energy to store all of this information. Democrats do because they don't have a life.
But I don't mean it just for you, though, too. I'm talking about, like, society. Why don't we
Okay, society don't care.
praise her?
Society don't
All
care.
right, so we need to
So,
remember her name.
well, that's my
Madison
point.
Marsh. Madison Marsh. Madison Marsh. You know what? Riley Gaines. We should praise the girls who are out there representing womanhood, femaleness, femininity. We should praise them all.
Hot take. Doesn't need to be praised, but that's a whole different topic.
But
Completely agree
we
with you
need to, because otherwise we're going to praise these dudes who put a dress on and then they.
No, I'm just not paying attention to them either. I don't freaking care. I can tell you, I've never seen a single video of Leah Thomas swimming. I don't care.
Okay, well then you're the exception because I feel like I've seen Leah Thomas in.
Oh,
a
I've seen her in a
women's so many
swimsuit, but have you ever
times
actually seen a meet of her swim? I don't. Okay, half the people that talk about Leah Thomas swimming, I bet you $1 million they never actually watched a competition.
Well, it's the same people.
They're just mad about it, which
it's the same-
rightfully so. You
it's
should
the
be mad
same
about it,
people about the
but
WNBA
I don't care.
And the women's soccer, and they complain. They've
And
never
women's
actually
basketball.
watched the sport.
We don't care.
Yeah,
Other things to do.
yeah. They don't watch the sport. They just want to complain and be upset.
Life goes on in 10-second intervals. On to the next thing. Anyway, speaking of on to the next thing, you guys are going to have to stay tuned to next week for another version of this, if it's popular. And those are all of our hot takes and our thoughts for the day. I thought this was actually pretty interesting, and now I'm hungry for lunch.